For a small crab with very little claws, there's a ton of pressure on the ocean floor. Bigger fish can swallow you up like you were supposed to be in Nineveh. But when the challenge of survival is laid at one crab's single spiked feet, it picks up the gauntlet. The boxer crab climbs the steps of success and fights above its weight class, using a clever trick his opponents don't see coming. But using what you have at your disposal is the best way to win in life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
And thank you to Cassie for the creation of our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube.
And thank you to Brian for the creation of this week's artwork. To check that out, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter at LD Taxonomy, or visit us at our home on the web at ldtaxonomy.com.
And today we're talking about yet another crustacean that packs a punch. But more on that later.
Yeah, is shrimp are crustaceans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not a shrimp either.
Yeah, it's not a shrimp, but another punch in one. But this week we're talking about the boxer crab, otherwise known as in science the pom-pom crab, or in Hawaii the kumimipua.
Excuse me?
You heard me. That is Hawaiian for inedible flower crab.
Good to know. I was about to munch on that flower crab.
Yeah. Part of me wishes that, like, in case for some reason we lose all of this and we get through critter groups, and that would have been a good, like, hey, I want, like, guess what this means thing, because there's just there's no Latin base for it, so there's no way to even guess.
I knew what it meant. I had read that.
Oh, did you? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
All right, but we're going to call it here, the boxer crab. We're going to call it the holiday cheermeister, because it's also called the pom-pom crab, so it's cheer. And as you can see behind me, the holidays are still upon us, even though I think this is going to come out after Christmas.
This one's coming out on the 28th, I think.
Yeah, so everybody
So Happy New Year.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? It just passed.
Now or when this comes out?
When this comes out.
Christmas.
Boxing Day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Bibby made a joke about that, and I didn't get it. Because I was asking her what nicknames she would come up with. The one that she came up with was clobber crab. Get it?
Nice.
Claw. Also, we're going to call it the puny pugilist. And crab rawler, which is a Pokemon.
Oh, is it?
Yes. It's not a good one, but it's an ice fighting type, and you got to look up a picture of Crabrawler. It is, they literally took the abominable snowman of the north from Rudolph and just fused it with a crab, and that's your Pokemon. It's got that dumb little, like, blonde bowl cut on the top too.
Bowl cut?
Yeah, look at it. It's
it
hilarious.
Has a spiky hair, dude. That goes straight up.
Oh wait, no, Crabominable. Sorry, that's his evolution.
Oh,
Crabominable. Crabrawler is just a regular fighting type.
What generation is this Crabomination?
Probably 7. Probably Sun and Moon. That was when they made a lot of weird design decisions. Anyway, my strong feelings for Crabominable aside, I just don't like looking at it. It's not a very good look. It's that weird abominable, the Humble Bumble, and then just its crazy look and its mitten paws. Anyway, the boxer crab is in a kingdom you know, love, and are in, and that kingdom is Animalia. The phylum is Arthropoda. The subphylum, we're going subphylum, is Crustacea, because we always have to when it comes to crustaceans, because that's, the subphylum. The class is Malacostraca. The order, Decapoda, 10 feet. When you're a decapod.
Yeah. It's the best song in that movie.
Crabominable is my second least favorite crab. The infraorder is Brachyura. The family is Xanthidae. The subfamily is Polydectinae. And the genus is Libya, or Libya. If you take the country Libya and you swap the Y and the I, this is what you got. The species is Edmondsoni. Libya Edmondsoni. Clearly, some guy named Edmund from Libya decided to slap his name on this and ethnicity on this crab. Or nationality, not ethnicity. But yeah, Libya Edmondsoni. And since we're in the business of naming things, it's time for my favorite part of the show, Critter Groups. The part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that question is the same every time. What is the name of a group of this animal, or what is the term of entry, or what is the collective noun? I hope that either I did not do this one already, or you do not remember, because we're doing crabs.
Okie dokie.
So, if you saw a group of crabs, Joe, would you call it A, a cast of crabs, B, a reach of crabs, C, a timmer of crabs, or D, a pledge of crabs? Forgot to do some inflections to throw you off.
I'm going to go with cast, final answer.
Ding, ding, ding. You're correct.
Yeah.
Did you remember
Nice.
that, or was that just...
I can't... maybe it was familiar to me. I don't remember.
Because we have done crabs, like a crab, since we started doing critter groups. Probably most recently the coconut crab. So we have probably done this one. I was just hoping that you had forgotten. But maybe it was just sitting there in the back of your subconscious. And you.
If you had asked me what it was, I would not have known.
Yeah, but then when given an options to choose from, then you're like, oh yeah, that one's it.
It seemed the most likely compared to the other ones, and maybe because it was back there in the back of my mind.
I was really hoping that timber would throw you off, because I'm actually very pleased with that word, because as far as I know, I didn't look it up. As far as I know, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a word. It's just a nonsense word that sounds like it means something. Would you like to hear what this looks like?
Sure.
All right, the boxer crab is a tiny, colorful crab. It is cream and pink colored on its carapace, with 8 legs that are striped with brown and deep purple rings. It also has
jokes on the water.
Jokes on the water. If you look at this thing, it kind of looks like a Hershey's Hug, which makes me hungry every time. Even though this is an inedible flower crab. Its body shell is kind of uniquely divided up into these polygonal plates that are lined also with this brown and deep purple like lining. So it kind of looks like just these just these plates that are kind of fitted together, and a couple of the plates are like brown, brighter red maybe, and they're on either side of its body, and they kind of look like giant eyes. And its coloration and pattern disruption allow it to blend into its sandy and coral-based environment pretty well. Because he wants all the predators to think that he is leaving, but the fighter still remains. Ooh. I had to find a way to work the boxer in there.
Of course.
But being able to blend in is crucial because he's not very well equipped to handle predators, like most other crabs are. The boxer crab is pretty small, very small actually, and has a relatively thin, weak carapace. Also, its front claws are small and underdeveloped, so it can't really catch prey or fend off predators on its own.
Guess it'll die.
Yeah, I guess I'll die now. Or hide. Hiding is also an option for small things, and that is definitely plan A is to hide.
Mm-hmm.
But I said it's small. So how small is it, Joe?
Good question. Welcome to the Beloved Measure Up segment, the official listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show when we present the animal size and dimensions in relatable terms through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also part of the show that's introduced by you when you send an audio of yourself saying, singing, or chittering the words measure up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We do not have a new measure up intro this week.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we get to hear from an animal and Carlos has to guess what it is.
Nice.
Okie dokie. Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show. Okay. Is that A, a goose, B, a French hen, C, a partridge, or D, a swan? One more time.
I am sensing a pattern here.
One more time for the holiday season.
Only I remembered the answers from the previous two. You did goose last time. No, you did swan last time. No, you didn't. You did goose last time. Man, how can I not remember that? It was 2 days ago. I think we already did the French hen. I think you did swan last time. No, it must have been goose. Oh my gosh. It's one of those two. It's either swan or goose.
I'll give you one hint. I've never done French hen.
But the answer was either goose or swan. And I think this one is the opposite of whatever that was. I think last time was goose, so I'm going with swan.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is correct.
Yes!
That's a swan. I was banking on the fact that you wouldn't remember what we did and which one was the right one.
But I remembered. I'm kind of, sort of, not really. It's the power of my Ursine Sunset sweater that I'm wearing right now.
Was there any...
Which you could pick up at Teespring, our Teespring link if you visit us at ldtaxonomy.com. Very comfortable.
Was there any thought in your mind that this could be a French hen?
No. It didn't sound like a chicken at all.
So partridge and French hen were gimmies for you, like free.
Yeah, so it was really just 50-50.
Okay.
It not only was it 50-50, but it was also based on my memory of last time.
That seems fair. I give you two that are clearly not the ones, and a 50-50 choice that is indistinguishable. The sounds that those two birds
But
make.
it was heavily skewed in my favor. Had I remembered clearly last time, then I would have known with 100% certain, with like 90%.
I'm glad there was
certainty.
I'm glad that there was at least some adversity for you to overcome in that one, so you feel like you actually won.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's going to be no adversity in the actual measure up questions.
No, it's going to be easy. Let's talk about the width of their carapace. It's a half inch, or 13 millimeters.
You'll get it right someday.
Millimeters. How many boxer crabs go into the height of the tallest professional boxer in history?
Have you ever been to? I know you have been to, but have you seen the poster on the wall of Buffalo Wild Wings where it has a picture of Muhammad Ali's fist?
Yes.
And it's actual size, and you hold up your fist to it, and you're like,
I'm a little boy.
that man was very large. It's a large man.
Would you like a hint?
Yeah.
It's not Muhammad Ali. The tallest boxer is actually 3 boxers that all share the same height.
It's 3 boxers standing on
Stacked
each
on
other's
top of each
shoulders,
other.
wearing a trench coat, trying to get into an R-rated movie.
Trying to get into an R-rated boxing match. It's Go Gia Me Too. Hashtag.
What?
It's a Romanian man named Gogia.
Gogia is definitely what all the Power Rangers assemble into once they're done with their...
That's his nickname. It's not actually...
Or it's a
He's
legendary
born
Pokemon. We're back to Pokemon.
a different name. How do you pronounce this, lady in my computer? Reveal to me your secrets. Gogia Mitu. Yeah. But he was born Dumitru Stefanescu. How do you say this woman?
You did it.
Stefanescu. Yeah, I am so I'm hooked on phonics too much.
You're hooked on Pahonix.
Yeah. So Gogia of Romania fought in the 1930s. John Rankin fought only once in 1967 at 300 pounds. I think he was in New Orleans. And he fought somebody like that was 160 something pounds. He won, by the way.
That sounds like he would win that one.
And Jim Cully fought in the 1940s, but some sources say that he was an inch or two shorter.
I'm going to say 178 crabs.
Final answer?
Yep, I think that these boxers were 7'5".
The correct answer is 171.
Whoa, that's a win for me. I was only 7 off.
The tallest boxers were 7'4".
Oh, it was an inch off.
Yeah, I guess that is a win because 1 inch means 7 crabs.
No, it doesn't. It means 2 crabs.
Wait, 1 inch. How did you get so far off? You just guesstimated the...
No, 7 times 12 is 84, and then plus... Oh, no, I put 7... No. Yeah, and then plus 5 is 89 inches, and then there's 2 crabs for every inch, so I multiplied it by 2 and got to 178.
Let's talk depth. The living depth. They live in the shallows, like Lady Gaga.
What?
They live at 20.
She lives in the shadows, right? That's her thing.
No, the shallows.
She has a song where she sings about living in the shallows.
I don't know about living there, but the shallows is the name of the song.
Oh, I would assume that it was. She has that like She-Wolf in the Closet song, right?
Isn't that Shakira? Yeah, just Shallow, not The Shallows. The Shallows is a movie with Blake Lively and a shark, starring a shark. They live at 20 meters or 66 feet.
Okay.
How many boxer crab living depths go into the depth of the deepest permafrost in the world?
I don't remember what permafrost is in particular.
Well, here's a hint. Permafrost is permanently frozen earth that's frozen for at least 2 years. So technically not permanent, but permanently frozen meaning not seasonally frozen.
So like the center of Antarctica.
Or a lot of Siberia. In fact, around 15% of land on Earth is permafrost. But permafrost can also occur on land or under the ocean. We're not talking about under the ocean, I'm pretty sure, in this case, when we're talking about the deepest.
So from
probably talking about from the surface of the
ice to as far as it goes until it becomes magma. I don't know.
Yeah, it goes straight from ice to magma. That sounds...
1,000 feet. That sounds good. And we'll divide that by what you say, 66 feet?
Yep.
15 depth. 15 crab depths. Yep. Go into the
final answer.
The deepest permafrost. Final answer, 15.
The correct answer is 50.
Oh boy, that's what I said.
It's in Siberia. There's an area of permafrost 1,000 meters or 3,200 feet down.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's 3 times as much as I thought.
I saw some video, or not video, but a picture of like this huge cliffside, I don't know where, that had like broken off because like there was this ice wedge of permafrost that had like chipped off a piece of the cliff.
That had calved it?
Yeah. It did calf exercises.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I got for that. Do you have any quick facts?
Yep.
Expedient facts?
Very expedient.com, not a sponsor. So the boxer crab lives in and around the Hawaiian Islands. Yeah. Island of Misfit Claws. Which is why it has a Hawaiian name, which I'll say again, is Kumimipua. Boxer crabs are omnivorous scavengers. They eat plant matter, dead animals, basically anything they can find. However, like I said before, they don't really hunt thanks to their underdeveloped claws and just they're just not built for that kind of stuff. But I'm sure that you can illuminate how they do fend off predators and get food. Because that's all I got.
Oh, we might actually have an on-time episode today.
I'm really working on it.
Let's get into it. I'm calling the major fact the pom-pom punch.
Nice.
So, the boxer crab has a pair of colorful boxing gloves that provide a secret weapon against predators. If you look at a picture, you can see why they call it the pom-pom crab sometimes. It looks like it's holding some pom-poms. Frilly, little, colorful objects. Boxer crabs have pinchers, like you said, that are underdeveloped, and they lack sufficient armor, so the chitin is thin.
The chitin?
The chitin is... Thin chitin isn't as fun as thin chitin.
Nope, but it's less dangerous.
So they can't really use their claws to defend themselves or find food. Instead, they use their pinchers to grab onto small sea anemone. These anemone are living creatures closely related to jellyfish, where Marlin and Nemo live.
This crab has a lot in common with Nemo. It both has underdeveloped appendages and a close relationship with sea anemones.
I thought you were going to say with their father.
Well, not at the beginning. That's the whole point.
Yeah. The crab holds them all the time, only letting go briefly to molt. And they'll use the anemones for 2 reasons. The first is that the tentacles of the anemone passively gather food particles that the crab scrapes off and eats. So
yum.
You're welcome, sea anemone. It's like when you have a falconer. It's like, hey, go get me some rabbit. And then you take in. What does the falcon think at that point? It's like, oh, okay. I think I deserve that. But boxers also use the anemones for protection. When a predator approaches, they'll get a swat from the crab. The anemones pack cnidocytes, which starts with a C, a secret C.
Because they're Nidarians.
Yeah.
They're the Knights of Nidonia.
Those cnidocytes are stinging cells, so they can deter large predators and even kill small ones. The pom-poms are a precious resource, however, If a crab is without one and can't find one on their own, they may steal one from another crab.
It's so neighborly of them.
It is. However, if a crab loses an anemone, I'm surprised I said that without tripping.
Loses an enemy. Sea Anemone is my favorite underwater news channel. If you see an enemy, shoot an enemy. You won't hear that on Sea Anemone.
You might. However, if a crab loses an anemone, they can rip the remaining one in half, and it'll regenerate, creating two fresh ones.
That's so nice of it.
Isn't that good? It's like, what if that happened to, let's say, a pair of gloves you love,
and you lose one, so you just rip the other one in half, and now you have two gloves again.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something else that comes in pairs that you really need,
like socks.
Like I was thinking, like,
and you often only
have there
one.
You go. Why did I go with gloves? I've never worn gloves ever.
You've never worn gloves before?
That's not true. That's not true.
You have lived a charmed life, my friend.
Yeah, I'm so privileged to never have had to wear gloves.
South Florida. I mean, you don't really have a reason to wear gloves in South Florida unless you're
gardening
or doing like woodworking, I guess. Mountain biking.
Or dissecting a frog in chemistry class.
Yeah, or food service. There's lots of reasons to wear gloves.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
If the crab loses both, they may still regrow from small pieces left in their claws. So that's helpful.
That is crazy.
Yeah. When crabs fight each other, they don't use their pom-poms. They will wave them around threateningly and use them in territorial displays, but they ultimately don't. I think they fight with their legs when they encounter other crabs or other pom-pom crabs.
They're like, get away from me. I'm going to zap you. No, I'm going to kick you. I'm going to kick you.
Yeah.
These are too valuable.
The pom-poms may be such a precious resource that they don't want to risk losing them.
Yeah.
The other theory is that they aren't effective. The crabs aren't stung by the nidicites, so they know that it's not going to do anything. Another theory that I read that I don't understand why it makes any sense is that it's extremely toxic, and they don't want to use them because then it might, because of self-inflicted wounds. But they use it against other things. Is this an honor system? I'm not going to use my pom-poms because then you will use your pom-poms. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But a scientist wrote it, so there must be something I'm not understanding. But
maybe they just hold them from
a
very specific spot, which doesn't hurt them, but can hurt others.
Yeah, maybe. But they still scrape it off to eat the food?
I don't know. Maybe there's different kinds of
but it makes sense. The one that makes sense to me is that when you're in this like kind of territorial display, a fighting match with a peer, maybe they know that it's not usually deadly, so they don't want to risk losing a pom-pom for such a trivial exchange.
Yeah, the pom-poms need to save their lives.
So if there are no anemones to be found, the crabs may use sponges or coral as replacements. I don't know if sponges would do the same stinging.
It sounds a lot less effective.
But they might collect food just as effectively. And it's unclear what the anemone gets out of the deal.
The anemone gets food.
Yeah, that's one of the theories, is that it has to do with mobility. So anemones are sessile.
Oh, sorry, I answered the question and you already had an answer like loaded, ready to go.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to end with, we don't know. I was like, oh, I know.
No, so anemones are sessile, which means they don't move under normal circumstances. And there's a risk of when you plant yourself as an anemone, as a plankton that finds its, the life cycle of a jellyfish type thing.
They should have picked a better spot.
You can pick a bad spot. You can pick a spot in the sand, which gets cut and makes you get covered by sand, and then you're dead. But that risk is gone when you're on a crab. But also moving around exposes it to more oxygen and food. So that might be what it gets out of the deal. Although I don't know if it has a choice either way. It's just kind of sitting there and it gets picked up one day. But if you, as a human being who's listening, were to be punched by a boxer crab, you may feel a very painful sting followed by redness, swelling, and lesions that last for several weeks.
Oh, wow. Sounds like what would happen if you touched the sea anemone.
Yes. The sea anemone are one of 3 different species of anemone, and they can be very, very painful to touch. That being said, the Wikipedia page, the picture of this particular species of crab is somebody holding it. Looks like with a bare hand.
Maybe
these anemone in particular are too small, and I was reading that it can really hurt from the anemones from just looking at the anemone, and maybe that's just bigger anemone that you can encounter, not on a pom-pom crab.
Maybe they've coated their hand in something that makes it so that protects them from stinging, like some gel, like from Monsters University.
Yes, probably from Monsters University.
Yep.
That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Than whatever nonsense you were talking about.
But that's all I got.
When I looked this up, I saw an article that with the clickbait heading, "This crab clones its allies by ripping them in half." And I was like,
I mean, it's clickbait, but it's, sort of true.
It's accurate. It's like, what's better than one anemone? 2 anemones.
To fight my enemies.
And then
it's good.
Fight my enemies with an enemies.
Yes. And the enemies of my enemies are my friends. Wait, no. The enemies of my enemies are my enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The enemies of your friend and enemies are your enemies. Because your enemies are your friends. And your enemies are your enemies.
Yeah.
There's a lot more nickname
potential
than what I did, but I'm glad we got it all out there. All right, that's all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. For you out there in Podcastia, that was the boxer crab. Use what you can find. Keep an eye out for predators. And wave those death palms like you just don't care. Like the boxer crab, you're in life, death, and taxonomy.
You're in time for bath time.
I am in time for bath time. I'm just going to end the recording there.